I'm in a few of these Facebook baking groups where people ask advice and questions, and I saw a post the other day that made me think. It was a lady who had done a 2-tiered cake, but it had all collapsed into itself, and she was wondering why. Now in the comments it became clear that her top tier wasn't on a board, so she had dowels in the bottom tier but the top tier was on no board. There was nothing resting on the dowels, it was just cake, so it sank into itself. And it made me think about advice I would give to somebody if they were doing a tiered cake. So the first piece of advice will be that each tier needs to be on its own board, otherwise it is just going to sink into itself. The dowels will have no use. The use for the dowels is to give each board something to sit on. I would also advise marking out on the bottom tier where the top tier is going to go and putting the dowels as far towards the edge of this as possible. The number of dowels I use is the inches of the cake above plus 1. This cake that I am doing here now is an 8-inch bottom tier and a 6-inch top tier, so that will be 6 dowels plus 1, so 7 dowels. If I'm stacking the cake at home and someone is collecting it or I'm delivering it and there's a lot of decoration going on, I will stack it at home with a central dowel, just because I feel like then it's all kind of glued together in one place and as stable as it can be. I do the central dowel by making a hole in the board of the top tier, and then I will push a dowel all the way through as you saw me stacking it then earlier. I just feel like this secures both of the tiers nicely in place. I find the centre by drawing round the top tier. So the top tier here was 6 inches, so I drew round a 6-inch board, cut it out of baking paper, folded it into quarters, and then when you unfold it you can see the middle, and you can also draw around this onto the bottom tier to decide where you're going to place the top tier. I always glue the tiers together with something strong like ganache or melted candy melts. My next tip is to make sure your cakes are as level as they can be. So use a cake leveler, and then I also use a spirit level just to make sure they are super straight, because if one of the cakes is slightly off or a bit wonky, it can just make the whole cake look wonky or like it's leaning and not straight. I think you definitely notice this more with a tiered cake. If you've got any tips for tiered cakes, pop them in the comments below and let's share our advice.